Let's move on. Well, all of us here believe that underwriting today it looks very different from what it used to look 5 to 7 years before. The reason is very simple, we all know. It has been a data automation, artificial intelligence, transforming the way the risks are now assessed. Today, AI-driven underwriting models can analyze thousands of data points in seconds, enabling insurers to make faster and more accurate decisions. Industry reports suggest that automation and advanced analytics can actually reduce underwriting processing time by 40 to 60% and also improving risk accuracy. Well, so because underwriting is just not only about number, it's also about understanding risk in real world. But even in this age of algorithms, one thing definitely remains irreplaceable: human judgment, intuition, and of course, experience. Well, so the real frontier lies in finding the right balance where technology enhances efficiency at the same time human expertise bring context, empathy, and strategic thinking. Well, this is what exactly our next panel will be disclosing and exploring. The next frontier of underwriting, automation, AI, and human touch. We have a esteemed lineup of leaders joining us on stage. May I now invite Mr. Aviral Chandra, President Marketing, SHRIRAM General Insurance Company Limited, to join us on stage. Can we have a huge round of applause and welcome Mr. Chandra on stage. I may now call upon Mr. Parag Pethe, Head Corporate Underwriting, Fire and Engineering, 𝐔𝐽𝐧 General Insurance. Can we have a huge round of applause and welcome him on stage. Joining next panelist is Kulbhooshan Patil, Head Data Science and Analytics, TATA AIG General Insurance Company Limited. Can we have a huge round of applause and welcome him on stage. Joining this dynamic panel is Dr. Amrendra Kumar, VP, Head of Underwriting and Chief Medical Officer, Bharti AXA Life Insurance. May I now call upon CV Kumar, Chief Underwriting Officer, 𝐓𝐡𝐞 General Insurance Limited. Can we have a huge round of applause and welcome him as today. May I now call upon Sashi Bhargava, Executive Vice President and Head, Intelligent Automation Products, Datamatics. Joining this panel is Viswajit Sarkar, Head Underwriting, Kotak Life. Can we have a huge round of applause and welcome Mr. Sarkar on the stage. Moderating this phenomenal panel is Saugata Pandey, Senior Vice President and Head Fraud Risk Management and Data Governance, Edelweiss Life Insurance. Can we have a huge round of applause and welcome them. I will request everyone if we can just be seated along with the screen, if possible. Is it possible to just, just a little reframing and restructuring of the panel out here. Yeah, thank you everyone. Yeah.
Good afternoon everyone. I think I'll start with a one analogy where if you have seen Sanjeev Kapoor's show, in the entire program they says nowadays that use salt as per the choice, right? So when we talk about underwriting, we have seen a lot of changes happening, century-old process of underwriting as an art. We have seen how data came into play and how data analytics become one of the core part of underwriting. And the next frontier where we are seeing and we are expecting that AI is already a part, and AI is becoming a part, and there the question is how we create the synergy of automation, AI and human touch. Because that Sanjeev Kapoor's statement of putting some human touch is always be there. And I think the underwriting is ready with the changes. We have started with the change the chairs, change with everything. And for this entire discussion, we have a very strong panelist today. So we have presence from life insurance, we have general insurance, we have tech, and we have agri insurance as well in Shema General. So to discuss this frontier, I'll come to Shashi first from a tech standpoint. What are the best practices for integrating AI into legacy system, and how much does intelligent document processing actually reduce friction?
Thank you, Zagata. I think, yes, I do come with a tech background, so I can tell you all the insurance companies which we deal globally, they have a lot of legacy systems. It's not easy to change the legacy systems because they are running in, the business is going on. So there are various techniques you can use to integrate with what we call as the non-invasive techniques. We have a lot of ways to do it. Many of the old systems, they don't have what is the standard method. I think many speakers have spoke about it during the day, or the API integration or something. Yes, those also can be created on many legacy applications. Now there are techniques coming in, and as you mentioned about Gen AI and other things, from tech perspective, there are a lot of agents are coming in to even do that job as well, to make that job easier, because a lot of legacy systems, the biggest fear is that we don't know what's happening inside. No one person or no one team knows exactly, but now that can be, like, we can do a good amount of work without knowing that particular thing. Second point which you said about the intelligent document processing, I think this has gone through a very big leap. Okay, if you look at the IDP, initially I would call that as or define this into about 4 generations. First generation was just OCR, we call optical character recognition. Second generation came is intelligent OCR. Third generation came using the AI/ML kind of models being trained, which used to take a lot of time to get the data out of the document. And now we have agentic and Gen AI based cognitive extraction. And that's where you see the insurance industry has been a very document oriented. Look at the new business, or look at the claims. Hundreds of thousands of pages come in, and you have to extract the data correctly from there. We had a challenge of handwritten documents as well, which also now a lot of models have come in and much better extraction happens in. So we have gone actually on the generation 4, where we see if the quality of the document or the things are good, we can go almost like 97, 98%. People have been talking about the field level. Now we talk about the STP at the document level. In the handwritten, we have seen going up to 75, 80%. As you mentioned earlier, is the technology ripe enough to have 100% thing, 100% STP? The answer is no. Many people are working towards it, but it's still far off, and that's where the HITL angle comes in. We do need to have human eyebrowing, you call it, eyebrowsing, you call it. We need to do that thing in the IDP, but yes, it is a big jump has happened the last 3 years, so we talk about 60-70%, now moving into the 90% off.
Yeah, so I think in the current, we are in such a juncture where in one way the boardroom discussion is, how we, stay ahead in terms of having some automation, having AI. On the other side, cost is also a discussion, right? Cost is a point which we are in the time of discussing budget, and we know, how cost is becoming one of the key factor in Indian market. Now, Aviral, coming to you, it's one thing to have the tool, but how about to see at the ROI, and how do you view the ROI of AI? Is it cost cutting or opening new market segment? And what is the biggest myth you would like to debunk?
Thank you for the question. If you look at ROI of AI in general insurance, it's not only about cost cutting or cost reduction. It's a dual lever piece which talks about efficacy, efficiency, and growth. If you look at the strategy value, is shifting from cost reduction to revenue enhancement and enhancing the risk precision. So that's where the entire ROI of insurance, in AI insurance, is changing. AI is, the previous presentation of Datamatics talked about frauds. So we use in frauds, we use in claim assessment, we use in underwriting. Now the main agenda is to reduce the TAT, risk selection, how we can improve the efficiency, efficacy of the entire piece. So coming back to revenue enhancement, how we can do that is by new product, innovation across, getting new products in cyber, climate risk, embedded insurance in digital platforms put together. SME risk insurance from a general insurance size are super, super important. Usage-based insurance is something which also can be looked at, which has not ticked very well in India, but has got a lot of potential through the use of AI again. So what I would probably underline, it's saying that ROI in AI is all about revenue enhancement and improving the TATs and efficiency put together. Thank you.
Thank you. Again, if we look at, when we talk about synergy, when we are looking at the automation, AI, the biggest problem which we have seen as an industry is the quality of data, right? Because the entire efficiency depends on data. So how we had unstructured data, we have structured data, but the quality of data has been a challenge throughout the, across the industry. So coming on that, Kulbhooshan, Tata AIG deals with a very, it's a complex business which you are in. And how is the shift to big data changing how we model catastrophe risk? And again, how do you ensure model accuracy during volatile market shift?
Okay, thank you for the question. I will answer this question in two parts. Every initiative, at least in Tata AIG, what we do it in two parts: explore and exploit. At this point of time, what we are trying to do is in CAT modeling or commercial risk modeling, we are exploring the newer ways how we are doing actuarial models. The traditional models how we are trying to do, because they also play a huge role in understanding the risk which had been done based on the historical data. So it's an exploration, exploitation of the existing data set. So what we do is we do explore. So we are also adding a lot of machine learning models with respect to the similar data. So we're building hybrid models there. And the second part, with respect to exploration, what we are trying to do is a lot of drone data, a lot of data with respect to geospatial data. We are trying to capture those data. And the important part is not just capturing the data. One is to have the data governance practice, because end of the day, what we said is like data quality matters. The better is the data, the better are your insights. So what we are trying to do is create an overall platform. So if you look how we are approaching towards this solution is, we are trying to create a SPOC framework. S stands for system. We are trying to build systems around which will, system in the sense infrastructure around it, which will capture the data, which we would be able to analyze it faster. Second is processes around it. For example, how do you process the data? What is the process in managing the data in terms of exploration, in terms of how do we keep the data intact, govern the data. The second part is organization. How do we collaborate with the different business stakeholders to ensure that this activities become successful? And the fourth part is the culture part, because I think a lot of management gurus have been saying that culture eats strategy for breakfast. So if you don't have good culture in an organization which allows you to have a good data literacy, AI literacy, these all things won't be successful. So I know you were expecting an AI sort of a solution, but I think a lot has been said about AI models. I think we know it can do a lot of different things, but AI is we always think about short-term impact of AI, but the long-term is about transformation and building an end-to-end journey. I think in the previous session, the data matrix also told that it's not just about data and models. It's about how to build an end-to-end AI platform and govern that platform and build culture around it. That's what we are trying to do.
So, I think one follow-up question which comes to my mind on this is, I have been working closely with the analytics team, and using Python, we have created all predictive models. And when we talk about model, we go back and see whether the model is overfitting or not. We are using Braird's code, log loss, everything the jargon which we will be very comfortable dealing every day. Now, with the AI coming in, do you see that we need all those Python-based model being prepared by humans going forward, or it can be a, put a one AI solution which can tell me that, okay, this is a, a risky policy to underwrite, or maybe it's a productive advisor to invest, or maybe it's a good renewal to follow up, the way we are using in different arena of, business where we are using Python.
So I think we will continue to have this Python codes, because at this point of time, if you look at how LLMs also work, they are not good in calculations. So end of the day, if you want to do mathematical calculation, you will have to generate a Python code. So the coding will still remain. We will not have coders in per se, but people who understand coding is what is important, because the writing part will be done by the AI. So if you look at the Claudes of the today Claude, what you can see, the recent upcomings with the Claude, they can create a lot of good applications in a quick succession of time. The problem lies in debugging the output which comes from the Claude. And where it fails, you don't know, because we still forget that the LLMs are probabilistic models, stochastic models. They run on probability. They will work today, they might not work tomorrow. So that governance part I keep saying is very important. So you need to be responsible in terms of how do we govern that, because today that code works, tomorrow that might not work. People might think it has to be deterministic thing, but it's a probabilistic thing, and we'll continue to have different I will not say we'll have a single platform, we'll have multiple platforms, because that reduces our risk. That's how we invest in market also. We reduce and we add our portfolio in different high, low, medium risk. That's we need to continue to build smaller solutions, modular solutions, which are a complete, which will act as a complete transformational journey rather than just a single sort solution. That's my answer.
Actually, it reminds me of an interesting article yesterday I was reading in where it was saying that if you have all your investment decision based on AI in the current market situation where it's bleeding for last 3-4 days, where AI would have asked you to simply sell off your all portfolio and come out of the market, where we are, generally we are holding, we know it will bounce back. So, okay, so coming to volatility, when we talk about volatility in general, no one can, imagine a volatility the way it is in weather, and nothing can get affected than agriculture when it comes to volatility. So I'll come to, my question to CV. Shema is the only agri-focused private insurer here. How is AI specifically transforming crop insurance? What role does it play in addressing climate change for the farmer?
Yeah, thank you. And first of all, let me thank for being in this panel with these wonderful people around. And Shema General Insurance is the only private general insurance company which is focused on agriculture and rural India. And possibly all the technological companies are focusing on agriculture. The simple reason being on the diversity of the agriculture process itself. So all the other insurance companies have very few things to deal with, but I have at least 100x of what they have. The simple reason being a crop is subjected to biotic and abiotic stresses. So it is not only biotic stress, it's abiotic stress also. So when the subject matter itself is so fragile and it is in the open and it is subjected to your weather risk, your management risk, the location risk, the time risk. So basically the crop is very much dependent on spatio-temporal dimension. So the same paddy crop which is growing in Kerala has a different futures than what it is being grown in Maharashtra. Whereas at least in health sciences, in the earlier panel speaker was telling, they have around 1 lakh combinations for health. But whereas in crop, you have many more than that. So here, the biggest thing what AI can do or a technology can do, in fact, I would say agriculture insurance or crop insurance is improving today in this country or worldwide only because of the availability of the technology. So the technology helps us in demarcating the farm. And what we at Shema do is we geotag the farm and we use algorithms to determine the risk of that particular farm. So unless you go to the farm level and understand the risk, understand the crop, understand the farmer practices and the science behind it, you cannot do a proper underwriting. Now, it cannot be like one size fits all. It is so dynamic in nature and so granular in nature. So this granularity and that dynamic nature of this crop makes it very interesting and makes it a very good subject for AI. Because AI tool can be used when you have multiple combinations, multiple parameters working, which a human mind may not be able to see it. I don't say that it cannot. An experienced underwriter will definitely look through it. But still, somewhere you may miss it, where AI can pop it up and show it on your face, hey, this is the problem here, which otherwise an underwriter would have missed it. So here, and this is very, very important for agriculture and rural domain. And most importantly, look at the people whom we are dealing. We are dealing with the people, the farmers, who are, maybe I would not say not illiterate or illiterate, I would say they are less informed. But you have to talk to them in different languages. Indian Constitution itself recognizes around 22 languages. At least 14 of them are very popular. And you have to go back and talk to them in those languages. And AI language program or language, supported AI helps such kind of a communication to happen. And then, as you rightly said, the biggest problem what the agriculture or we all are facing is the climate change. I'm sure even in Mumbai you are facing the effects of climate change. There's a unseasonal rain. There is a heavy rain or a very hot, very high temperatures. So we as a human beings, we have some methodology to overcome it. But what about plants in open? So that becomes a bigger problem for the farmer, and the climate change creates so much of stress on the crop, and it brings unprecedented rains. That is where AI can help maybe to give a predictive analysis or give a like what could be the possibility of having a heavy rain. So from agriculture, instead of doing reactive underwriting, now we are moving into predictive underwriting. So AI helps us to do a predictive underwriting. So I can see with the help of AI, how is the weather for next few months, or at least a month, month and a half, the crop season. So that, not only me, the farmer also has a better understanding. And as you know that farmers may not be able to afford this AI technology, and that is where 𝐓𝐡𝐞 General Insurance is come up with a support system or an advisory system. And as an insurer, now I am not only looking at just giving a insurance protection, I am trying to give a value addition to the farmer by giving him these AI inputs, the predictive inputs. So that, a simple example I'll tell you, by knowing the right time of sowing, a farmer can increase his yield by 20%. And by knowing the right time of irrigation, the farmer can control the wastage of water by almost 30 to 40%. By knowing the right time of spraying a fertilizer, the farmer will be able to reduce the carbon imprints, or the carbon sequestration can be improved just by knowing when he has to do the fertilizer and to what quantity. And all these things can be very well be supported by AI. Of course, all these things doesn't mean that AI will do everything, as the other speakers were telling. Always it is human in the loop who is going to ultimately take a decision and benefit from it. So I think to sum up your question,
yeah.
I think AI is very, very predominant and very, very effective when it comes to farmers, agriculture and rural India.
So, CV, I want to stay with you. It's a very interesting topic. We don't get to hear agri insurance much in our different panel discussions. So, I was just wondering that when you are using AI to that extent, when it comes to agri crop insurance, how you are getting the data? Is the data available? Because data has been a challenge, because all your AI predictive model, you have spoken about predictive model, nothing can work unless you have a very good historical data. So how you are getting data for all your predictive models?
Yeah, you came bang on the problem statement. So data is one of the important constraint what we right now have, but then we are building it. See, nothing comes up in a day, right? 𝐓𝐡𝐞 is 3 years old company. We have enough of data with us, and we are building. And this is a continuous process. It's a learning process. The more the data I feed, the more learning happens. And this will not be an end. And it has to be and we are obtaining data from farm level. And thanks to the government, that most of the states are digitalizing their farm records. Most of the land records are now digitalized, and that is one of the big steps which government has taken. In fact, ICRISAT and Microsoft have developed an app of sowing app, when to sow. So all these things comes up with data, and you are right, without data, AI may not be effective, but I don't think that is any showstopper. It keeps on going, and it develops over a period of time. And as of now, 𝐓𝐡𝐞 has built a very good ground data to sufficiently predict these kind of requirements.
Thank you. I think still a lot can be done, because we as a country so versatile when it comes to agriculture, because when it comes to wheat, it's Punjab will take the lead, or probably rice, Bengal or Odisha will take the lead, and 𝐓𝐡's presence in South. I think a lot can be done in terms of data, in terms of creating the whole lot of database, so that it can help in future. So I'd like to move, when we have spoken about crop, we have spoken about corporate risk, I'd like to move to life now, where it's more data becomes deeply personal and medical. So my question to Dr. Amarendra, as a CMO, how are these technologies shaping the future of life underwriting?
Thank you, Swagata. It's a very tricky and very different question. As a CMO, you are an expert in the medical opinions and all. And data definitely helps, but you need to balance between the data as well as the clinical judgment. Data can't replace the clinical judgment and the experience. For the volume of cases, you can process this through the data or agentic AI or different AI models. But still, human intervention or the doctor's intervention would be required, and you need to balance it out. I'll give you one simple example. Diabetes, it's a very common disease. But the risk factors for a person who is suffering from diabetes can't be the same, because it depends on the years of suffering from the diabetes, what are the comorbid factors, what are the complications. So, data, you can make the model through the pre-feed data, but no person can be same. And there the intervention of the CMO or the medical specialist do come, and you need to fine-tune. They need to work in a, together to predict the risk.
So I think the follow-up question, Amarendra, which comes to my mind, that we have nowadays seen a lot of agentic AI tool, where initial thought process was probably till a year back, it was where data-based underwriting till your STP end, right? So it's till your STP rules are working, the data will work, and data-based underwriting. Now we are moving into an era where the agentic AI is saying that we will do the medical underwriting, we don't need a doc, we will do the medical underwriting on your behalf, and we will read all your complex, your ECG report and complex report. So I think then again, putting your CMO hat, is it too early for an insurance company to explore that, or should we be cautious to put our first baby step forward? How we should deal with it?
Yes, I mean, like, we can do it, but still the digitalization of the medical reports are still not there completely. Yes, I can say that 60 to 70% you do get a digital reports where it's very easy to build a model around that, and through that you can have a STP cases. But still, you will find that wherever the ECG or the TMT comes, I mean, like, there the challenges comes. Again, I mean, like, you need a doctor's intervention. Otherwise, I mean, like, in hospitals, you don't require doctors to be sitting there as a consultant. Instead, I mean, like, AI tool will be there and they will diagnose and give the medicine.
I think I have, the temperature has gone up. Shashi is excited to answer with his tool. Yeah, Shashi.
Yeah, so I have a slightly different opinion from the technical perspective. We have been working on this from the medical underwriting for a pretty long time in the last 6 months to, even I would say last 3 months, even 3 weeks if you talk about it. There are very good LLM models who are analyzing the complete set of your requirement. I'm saying images, whether it's 2D, TMT, ECG, X-ray, you name it, it can analyze exactly as a doctor would do. Okay, we are also seeing cases where, like, when the health claim comes in, the whole set of documents, doctor prescription, medical record, reports, medicines, everything comes in, and you give it to this kind of, using this LLMs with the proper prompt, what we call, you absolutely get exactly what a doctor will advise you. We have seen the efficiency going to the extent of 99.5%. It matches with it. So there are two things. One is, if I'm not doing a treatment, like for example, in a life insurance new business case, if I'm writing it, it's more of analyzing and taking a call. And most of the time, let's say 95%, 96%, the cases are normal. I think this LLM models are they're specific vertical medical LLM models, which are as good as a doctor. And with the due respect to you, sir, like, here when I go to a doctor, there's one doctor, he has seen maybe 30 or 40 years experience, he has seen certain cases. Now we have LLM where there may be thousands of doctors' experiences coming in, and probably the diagnosis or the prognosis we call is much better. So I feel that in the insurance field, definitely to make the cases STP, this kind of thing, medical underwriting is the way to go. And people are doing experimentation. We have seen people doing experimentation, including in India. That's all.
Yeah, I think Kulbhooshan wants to add some general insurance angle.
Yeah, I just want to add the health insurance angle.
Yeah.
If you traditionally see in insurance sector, 10 to 15% of the people only claim. The rest 85% of the people do not claim. So there is a high chance that 85% of the cases should be STP. So I believe STP is the way we need to go. The chronic claim percentage should be 5%, 3 to 5% in any insurance companies. The worst insurance company doing a bad underwriting, 5 to 6%. So there is a chance of 95% STP still. So if we are able to pinpoint precisely who are the people in future would be a chronic patient, I'm not saying we'll not underwrite. We'll write it with appropriate riders and exclusions, or maybe we propose wellness programs to them so that the risk is justified, which we take. So we become more preventive instead of reactive. I know people will have a wrong, the thing is, I believe I come from a data science background, so I've seen in the healthcare sector also, in the previous companies, there's a lot of scope which we would assist doctors in terms of clinical trials, clinical support, assistance to the doctors, and it helped. So I know doctors would have a pushback, but eventually if you want to analyze thousands of data with 1 or 2%, I think that's where the AI will help, not replace, but help.
I do agree. Like in health insurance, you do have an option to put an exclusion and the wellness program around that. But in life science, in life side, we don't have that liberty.
I think that's where synergy is required. I'll give you one quick example. Last year, I met one of the tech partner from US, and they have some understanding with Google, and they're saying that I can give you the Google map trail of your customer, prospect customer. So whenever you are underwriting the policy, you will get to know that whether the customer has visited the hospital in last 6 months or not. Now, if he has visited, that becomes a red flag for you. And then you decide, whether he has visited for his ailing mother, father, or for himself or herself. And they were, while it was quite interesting proposition, they came back with the backing that we will speak to reinsurer, and in case you get a claim, we will, support reinsurer in claim as well when you are underwriting based on this. So, when it comes to going for this kind of options, there are a lot of options which are coming up. So again, the next question to Biswajit now. Biswajit, how does Kotak use AI to identify non-traditional risk markers? Because Kotak has a old legacy, the data and the entire big volume to look back.
Okay. We do have legacy systems, and we are also working on certain things. I will try to talk about that. See, currently we are also in process of implementing AI in our systems. We are running few pilots. Some of them are showing promise, some of them are not showing promise. We also do face issues while sharing the data to outside vendors. So the initial call is probably to build it in-house. Sometimes we are also trying to engage with vendors. Now I'm coming to the data, what we can use, what we cannot use. See, there are lots of non-structural data that can be used in underwriting. Suppose a person who is coming to me, if he give me the access to his wearables data, that can, actually look at his heart rate, his patterns, eating patterns, and the other habits and everything, we can know lots about him. Similarly, if we have his digital footprints and everything, we know about his habits and other things. There are few vendors who are providing us the details, and we are working with them to working on the affluence score and other details so that we can know more about the customer. Similarly, suppose we get normally the bank statements today. We are also using account aggregator to pull through the bank statement. When we get the bank statement, we also know how many pharmacy uses are there, is there any hospitals uses. Similarly, somebody is visiting liquor stores regularly or not, or somebody is going to smoking joints and pan-biri shops regularly or not. So we know more about the habits of the customer. At least on the financial data, we are using it and we are able to weed out few cases. Regarding wearables, is at a very nascent stage and the data is not very much available. But the scope is definitely be there. Now, number two, we get bulk of data or reports from the customers. We are also working with few vendors to summarize the medical reports or the customer personal medical reports. Of course, an underwriter can go through it and take the fine nuances, but there are fine nuances that AI can develop, probably underwriter may miss out. History of taking alcohol in last 15 days in parties or something, and he had a liver problem or a acute gastritis or something. Those things can be correlated further, and those type of analogies or particularness that thinking to get out of the data, their AI can help us. Similarly, we use multiple models actually, of course machine learning models previously, and we are also using them. They help us to understand our data over a period of time, particularly segregate the data to understand from fraud perspective, from early claims perspective, area-wise perspective, and all this. And next point is AI is also able to categorize the customers. We are actually running a pilot on this. Based on the customer profile, his area of staying, the state he is coming from, what is our past experience is that we can always categorize the customer better. So this helps, this non-structured data help us to underwrite better. Few things already available, few things we are working on it. End of the day, AI is supposed to help the underwriter to underwrite better. The cases which are straight through will definitely go straight through. In the high value term plans, my margin of error is very low. Probably in 3,000 cases, I can offer only 2 to 3 claims. Everybody's pricing will be different. But this type of analogies or this type of insights actually help me to segregate those cases and give it to the underwriter with the particular insights so that they can segregate the actual cases which require more and more attention and specific questioning. So this type of non-structured data can definitely help the underwriter to re-stratify the customer better, and accordingly it becomes a part of his arsenal to re-stratify the cases better.
So I think in the synergy of automation, AI and human intervention, we agree that that is required, and we are coming to the point where we are saying that where does machine end and human begin? And there I am going back to Parag. Parag, GoDigit is known for being tech fast, right? So where do you draw the line between automation and human expertise? And with your experience, where we see, if we go fast forward to 2030, what does the underwriter's desk will look like then?
So, first of all, so thank you for giving the opportunity to share the thoughts. As a GoDigit, we started in 2017 as an insurtech company. And at that time when it started, the thought was completely on that angle only, to have a completely digital and the cloud-based things on the place. So when we started in that manner. So how do the data will dealt by the underwriters, by the machines, and with the automation things. Obviously, the industry is, or the underwriting is transforming day by day into the new future, where the automation, AI will do the miracles. And when we come to the underwriters, so as far as I understand, or as far as I feel, our company's thought process is, it is never going to replace the underwriters. Obviously, this if you see the Indian penetration of the insurance, it is roughly 3% only, which is the lowest margin of the global. So when we are moving towards the penetration in India and everybody is focusing on the retail part more, so how that will be done? So the transformation of the use of automation into the AI and integrate into the systems where the underwriting can be done very easily or with the rule-based things. So while we are doing the different underwriting for property, for the health, for the, we are having the life company as well. So we are moving into the direction, we have started making the rules for the different kind of underwriting, taking, with the use of Python, with the use of API integration, we are taking or gathering that points into a certain places where multiple questions can be derived, and the insurance make very simple or a one step to the customers. So it will get easily straight pass through, and your manual interventions will be less. So as we see, as a part of the overall underwriting, 70% of the cases or 75% of the cases today are straight through pass. So the rule-based underwriting or the database underwriting, where the automation plays a role, it will be very easier to move on that part. Obviously, the underwriters will, their role will be very critical, and will be a key role of underwriter is to derive that rules. As your data goes vast, how that can be again steered into the underwriting, how they strategize. And the 30% of the cases which we are saying that will not be the straight through, where the actually the experience and the expertise of the underwriters will play a role into, we can say mainly into the corporate portion. And when we talk about, and here's the place where we can draw a line, where the human intervention and the automation plays a role. Obviously, human will not get replaced by the system. Obviously, that elevates the human for the betterment, and further their role will get deferred to the level where their expertise is actually get valued. And to the second part of the question, as you mentioned, where we do look by 2030. So obviously, the industry is transforming in a way. So maybe by 2030, it will be more digital and AI powered completely. So, and obviously, as I mentioned, underwriters will be a role will be always crucial and the key role. It will not get replaced by the system, but that AI systems will get elevate their roles to a more standardized manner for the straight-through cases. And AI, obviously, it is not human versus AI. It is human with AI. So that will move towards in a direction to give a faster, simpler, quick, and a more resilient underwriting results.
So I think this is a very interesting topic. So Dr. Amanandra, being the industry veteran, I'd still like to hear your perspective that what do you see underwriting desk in 2030?
Definitely, I think it will be a combination of human involvement with the AI thing. Machine can't replace the underwriting completely. There will be human intervention which will be required.
I hope Shashi will not question existence of underwriting by 2030.
Maybe LL.
We have stopped. All mics and all underwriters have played a big role here.
I completely see. Human will be required. Human eyeballing, HITL will be there. But the way the technology is changing, I see that the number of people required, the number of the medical officers or underwriter requires, count may go down, but in the way, as you mentioned, 3% insurance penetration is there. The cases volumes are going up. We have seen multiple cases. In my case, it's not that the underwriter is losing the job, if I can say so bluntly, but the volume they are handling is increasing. I think somebody mentioned recently, they increase the volume by 20% without hiring a new underwriter. Okay, so that is something, yes, it is taking away much better decision, much faster, much less cost. But 100% removal of HITL, even I'm not saying it will happen.
So, thank you. I think this synergy will, where I see it will take us to a place where humans will do better work, and let the ChatGPT take care of all our silly needs, right? So we are here to do a better job. And I think this synergy discussion I can host for the entire day. But we have a time limit. So in any question, if you have to answer quickly. Okay. Thank you for not asking any question on this. So we can take for the day long. Thank you everyone. Thank you all the panelists.
Thank you so much. Can we have a huge round of applause for the entire panelists? Thank you so much. And for felicitating, I'll request Mr. Mayur Sankhe, Head of Business Development India, 𝐓𝐡𝐞, to please join us on the stage. Can we have a huge round of applause for Mayur? I may now request Aviral Chandra to please accept the memento. Thank you, Mr. Chandra, for very meaningful dialogues. Can we have a huge round of applause, everybody? I may now request Mr. Parag Pethe, Head Corporate Underwriting, 𝐔𝐧𝐿 General Insurance. Thank you once again for great insights. May I now call upon Kulbhooshan Patil, Head Data Science and Analytics, TATA AIG General Insurance Company Limited. Thank you. Once again, a huge round of applause, everyone. May I now call upon Dr. Amrendra Kumar, VP, Head of Underwriting and Chief Medical Officer, Bharti AXA Life Insurance. Thank you so much, sir. Once again, a very, very powerful dialogues from you. I may now invite CV Kumar, SHRIRAM General Insurance Limited. Thank you so much, sir. Once again, a very insightful talks. May I now call upon Shashi Bhargava from Datamatics. Thank you once again. We wish we would have, talked more about it in these details, but as we are crucial on time, once again, thank you, Mr. Bhargava, for a very, very absolutely insightful perspective. May I now request Biswajit Sarkar, Head Underwriting, Kotak Life. Once again, thank you so much for joining in and your insights, sir. May I now call upon our moderator, Saugata Pandey. Thank you so much for absolutely meaningful conversation, heading this conversation in a very insightful manner. Thank you. I may now request everyone to please join us on the center stage for a group picture. Thank you so much. I may now say that, we have a leading voices of insurance ecosystem joining us, and, what a powerful and meaningful dialogue. Can we have a huge round of applause, everybody?